You arrive at the coastal village just as the afternoon light begins to soften, painting the world in shades of honey and amber. The small rental car you've driven for the last hour along winding coastal roads finally comes to rest in a gravel clearing, and as you turn off the engine, a profound stillness settles around you. Through the windshield, you can see the path ahead, a gentle trail of worn wooden planks leading through tall beach grass that sways in the salt-kissed breeze. Beyond the grass, rising from a rocky promontory, stands the lighthouse you've come to visit, its white tower gleaming against the deepening blue of the sky. You step out of the car, and immediately the sound of the ocean reaches your ears, a constant rhythmic whisper that seems to come from everywhere at once. The waves are gentle today, rolling steadily onto the shore below the cliffs with a soft, eternal patience. You breathe deeply, filling your lungs with air that tastes of salt and sea foam, and you feel something within you begin to unwind. The tension you've carried in your shoulders starts to ease. The thoughts that have been spinning endlessly through your mind begin to slow, like leaves settling after a gust of wind. The wooden path creaks softly beneath your feet as you walk, each plank worn smooth by decades of coastal weather and countless footsteps of lighthouse keepers who came before. The beach grass brushes against your legs, its dry whispers joining the symphony of the sea. Small wildflowers dot the landscape, tiny purple blooms and delicate yellow petals that nod gently in the breeze. A seagull calls somewhere in the distance, its cry carried away on the wind, fading into the vast expanse of sky and water. As you approach the lighthouse, you notice the small cabin nestled at its base, a cozy cottage with weathered shingles the color of driftwood and a chimney that rises from its slate roof. This will be your home for the next few days, a retreat from the world where the only sounds are the ocean and the wind and the occasional cry of seabirds. Smoke curls gently from the chimney, and you realize that someone has already prepared for your arrival, lighting a fire to warm the space and welcome you. The front door of the cabin is painted a deep faded blue, the color of the sea on a cloudy day, and it opens with a gentle creak that speaks of age and history. You step inside, and warmth immediately envelops you. The interior is everything you imagined and more. Exposed wooden beams cross the low ceiling, darkened with age but strong and sturdy. The walls are whitewashed plaster, softened by years of sea air, and they're adorned with old maritime maps, watercolor paintings of ships and shores, and brass instruments that once helped sailors navigate these very waters. The fireplace dominates one wall, its hearth made of smooth river stones that radiate a gentle heat. The fire within crackles softly, sending dancing shadows across the room and filling the air with the sweet, woody scent of burning oak. Before the fireplace sits a deep, comfortable armchair upholstered in worn velvet the color of wine, and beside it, a small table holds a ceramic lamp and a stack of well-loved books with cracked spines and yellowed pages. You set down your bag and take a moment to absorb your surroundings. The floor is wide-planked pine, covered in places by thick wool rugs in muted reds and blues, their patterns faded by time, but still beautiful. The windows are small and deep-set, their glass slightly wavy with age, offering views of the endless ocean that stretches to the horizon. Through one window, you can see the lighthouse tower rising above, its lamp room catching the last golden rays of the setting sun. A small kitchen occupies one corner of the cabin, simple but complete. Open shelves hold stoneware dishes in cream and blue, glass jars of tea leaves and dried herbs, and an old copper kettle that gleams in the firelight. You notice that someone has left you provisions: a loaf of crusty bread wrapped in cloth, a wedge of sharp cheese, a jar of golden honey, and a basket of apples whose red skins catch the light. Everything you could need for a peaceful evening. But for now, you're drawn to explore, and so you climb the narrow staircase at the back of the cabin, each step groaning softly beneath your weight. The stairs spiral upward, following the curve of the lighthouse tower, and the walls here are bare stone, cool to the touch and slightly damp with the moisture of the sea air. Small windows set into the stone offer glimpses of the world outside, the rolling waves, the rocky shore, the darkening sky. The lamp room at the top of the lighthouse takes your breath away. You emerge through a small hatch into a circular chamber surrounded by windows on all sides, offering a panoramic view of the ocean that seems to stretch into infinity. The great lens that once guided ships safely to harbor stands in the center of the room, its prismatic glass now dark but still magnificent, a testament to the generations of keepers who tended this light through storms and calm alike. You stand at the windows, watching the sun sink slowly toward the horizon. The sky transforms before your eyes, shifting through shades of gold and coral and rose, the colors reflected on the water in shimmering ribbons of light. A few clouds drift lazily across the sky, their undersides painted in brilliant oranges and pinks. The ocean below catches the light, its surface a constantly moving tapestry of color and shadow. The rhythm of the waves is hypnotic from this height. You can see them rolling in from the vast expanse of the open sea, gathering momentum as they approach the shore, then breaking gently against the rocks in white cascades of foam. Each wave follows the last in an endless procession, a rhythm as old as the earth itself. The sound reaches you even here, a soft and constant murmur that seems to speak of patience and eternity. As the sun finally slips below the horizon, painting one last streak of crimson across the water, you feel a deep sense of peace settling into your bones. The twilight that follows is soft and blue, and the first stars begin to appear in the eastern sky, tiny pinpricks of silver light that grow brighter as the darkness deepens. You watch them emerge, one by one, until the sky is scattered with their gentle glow. The night air has grown cooler, and you feel the chill through the old windows of the lamp room. It's time to descend, to return to the warmth of the cabin below. You take one last look at the darkening sea, at the stars now wheeling overhead, and then you make your way down the spiral stairs, your hand trailing along the cool stone wall. The cabin welcomes you back with its warmth and golden light. The fire has burned down slightly, but the embers still glow bright orange, and you add another log, watching as the flames slowly catch and begin to dance once more. Sparks rise up the chimney like tiny stars returning to the sky from which they fell. You prepare a simple meal, slices of bread with cheese and honey, an apple cut into wedges, a cup of tea brewed from the dried herbs you found on the shelf. The tea smells of chamomile and lavender, and its warmth spreads through your body as you sip, easing any remaining tension from your muscles. You settle into the armchair by the fire, drawing a soft wool blanket over your lap, and you let out a long, slow breath. The fire crackles and pops, its voice joining the constant murmur of the ocean that drifts through the walls. You can hear the waves even here, their rhythm unchanged, their patience unending. The wind has picked up slightly outside, and it whispers around the corners of the cabin, making the old structure creak gently like a ship at anchor. But you are warm and safe, cocooned in this haven between the sea and the sky. Your eyes grow heavy as you watch the flames, their dance mesmerizing and soothing. The firelight casts a warm glow across the room, touching the old maps on the walls, the brass instruments, the worn spines of the books. Everything here speaks of time and care, of generations of lighthouse keepers who found peace in this very room, watching this very fire, listening to this same eternal sea. When you finally rise from the chair, your body moves slowly, languidly, weighted by the deep relaxation that has settled over you. The bedroom awaits through a small doorway, and as you enter, you find a space equally cozy and welcoming. The bed is an old iron frame painted white, its mattress thick and soft, piled high with pillows and covered in quilts of faded blue and white. A small window above the bed offers a view of the night sky, and you can see the stars still wheeling slowly overhead. You change into comfortable sleeping clothes and slip beneath the quilts, feeling their weight settle over you like a gentle embrace. The sheets are soft cotton, worn smooth by countless washings, and they smell faintly of lavender and salt air. You sink into the mattress, your head settling into the pillow, and you feel your body release into the comfort of the bed. Through the window, you can see the beam of a distant lighthouse, not this one, but another along the coast, sweeping slowly across the darkness in its eternal vigilance. The light appears, sweeps past, and fades, only to appear again moments later, a constant and reassuring presence in the night. You watch its rhythm, letting it synchronize with your breathing. The light appears as you inhale, sweeps past as you hold, fades as you exhale. The sound of the ocean is clearer here, closer somehow, as though the sea is just beyond the wall. The waves continue their endless conversation with the shore, each one unique yet part of an infinite pattern that stretches back to the beginning of time. You let the sound wash over you, through you, carrying away any last traces of worry or tension. There is nothing to do, nowhere to be, nothing to think about except this moment, this sound, this perfect peace. Sleep begins to pull at the edges of your consciousness, gentle and irresistible. Your body feels heavy and warm beneath the quilts, your breathing slow and deep. The fire in the other room has burned low, its crackles and pops now barely audible, a soft counterpoint to the ocean's murmur. The wind continues its gentle exploration of the cabin's edges, a companion rather than an intruder. You drift, suspended between waking and sleeping, aware of the comfort surrounding you, but no longer bound by the need to observe or analyze. The lighthouse beam continues its slow sweep across the darkness. The waves continue their endless rhythm. The stars continue their ancient journey across the sky. And you are part of it all, held safely in this moment, cradled by the night. Morning arrives softly, filtered through the small window above your bed. You wake slowly, gradually, pulled from sleep by the gentle light rather than any sudden noise or alarm. The light is the pale gold of early morning, touched with rose where it catches the edges of the clouds. You lie still for a moment, savoring the warmth of the quilts, the softness of the pillow, the deep rest that still lingers in your muscles. The sound of the ocean greets you as you become more fully aware, unchanged from the night before, as constant and reassuring as ever. You can hear seabirds now, too, the distant cries of gulls and the closer, softer calls of smaller birds that nest in the beach grass. The wind has calmed during the night, and the cabin is quiet, peaceful, waiting. You rise slowly, stretching your body, feeling the satisfying release of muscles that have truly rested. The floor is cool beneath your feet, but not unpleasantly so, and you pad to the window to look out at the morning. The sea stretches before you, its surface calm and silvery in the early light. A few fishing boats dot the horizon, their white sails catching the first rays of the sun. The sky is clear, washed clean by the night, and promises a beautiful day. In the main room, the fire has gone out, but the cabin retains its warmth, the stone walls having absorbed the heat through the night. You kneel before the hearth and begin to build a new fire, crumpling paper and arranging kindling, striking a match and watching as the first small flames catch and begin to grow. The ritual is meditative, grounding, connecting you to all the lighthouse keepers who performed this same task in this same place. As the fire grows, you move to the kitchen to prepare breakfast. The kettle fills with water from the hand pump at the sink, the water cold and sweet from the deep well beneath the cabin. You set it on the small stove to heat, then slice more bread and set out the butter and honey. The simple acts of preparation are soothing, requiring just enough attention to keep your mind gently occupied without demanding anything more. With your breakfast and a fresh cup of tea, you settle once again into the armchair by the fire. The flames are livelier now, crackling and dancing, throwing their warmth across the room. You eat slowly, savoring each bite, each sip, fully present in this moment of nourishment and peace. Through the window, you watch the light strengthen on the water, the silver giving way to blue as the sun climbs higher. After breakfast, you feel drawn to explore, and so you wrap yourself in a warm sweater and step outside. The air is cool and fresh, carrying the salt of the sea and the green scent of the beach grass. You follow a narrow path that leads down from the lighthouse toward the shore, the ground sloping gently beneath your feet. The path takes you through a small meadow where wildflowers are just beginning to open to the morning sun. Purple clover and yellow buttercups nod alongside white daisies and delicate blue forget-me-nots. Bees have already begun their work, moving from bloom to bloom with drowsy determination. You stop to watch one, its fuzzy body dusted with golden pollen, and you feel a kinship with its simple, purposeful existence. The meadow gives way to rocks as you approach the shore, large, smooth boulders that have been shaped by centuries of waves and weather. You pick your way carefully across them, finding a flat outcropping where you can sit and watch the sea. The waves are gentle here, lapping against the rocks with soft, rhythmic whispers. Tide pools have formed in the depressions, small worlds unto themselves, and you peer into one to see tiny crabs scuttling across the bottom, their shells the color of sand and stone. You sit for a long while, simply being, simply watching. The sun continues to climb, warming your face and hands. The waves continue their endless dance, each one different yet part of the same eternal pattern. Gulls wheel overhead, their white wings catching the light, their cries carried away by the gentle breeze. You feel your thoughts slow, simplify, become as rhythmic and unhurried as the sea itself. When you finally rise to return to the cabin, you feel renewed, refreshed, as though the ocean itself has washed away something old and worn to reveal something new and clean beneath. The path back seems shorter than before, or perhaps time simply moves differently here, flowing like water rather than ticking like a clock. The afternoon passes in gentle activities. You explore the cabin more thoroughly, discovering small treasures tucked away in corners and on shelves. There's a collection of shells gathered by previous visitors, each one unique and beautiful, spirals and fans and delicate cones in shades of pink and cream and gray. There's a journal filled with entries from Lighthouse Keeper's past, their handwriting faded but legible, their observations of weather and ships and the daily rhythms of life at the edge of the sea. You find a worn deck of cards and play a few hands of solitaire at the small table by the window, the familiar movements soothing in their repetition. You find a book of poetry and read a few verses aloud, your voice soft in the quiet room, the words speaking of nature and beauty and the passing of time. You find a pair of binoculars and spend an hour watching the ships on the horizon, imagining their destinations, their cargoes, the stories of the people aboard. As the afternoon light begins to deepen toward evening, you climb once again to the lamp room at the top of the lighthouse. The view is different now than it was yesterday evening. The light falls from a different angle. The shadows stretch in different directions. The colors of the sea have shifted from morning silver to afternoon blue to the golden warmth of approaching sunset. You watch the sun begin its descent once more, painting the sky in new colors, different from yesterday, yet equally beautiful. Tonight there are more clouds, and they catch the light in spectacular fashion, their undersides blazing with coral and gold, while their tops fade to purple and gray. The sea reflects the display, becoming a mirror of fire and color, the waves carrying fragments of sunset toward the shore. A small boat rounds the point below, its sail catching the last of the light. You watch it make its way toward a small harbor you hadn't noticed before, nestled in a protected cove a little way down the coast. The boat moves slowly, peacefully, its captain in no hurry, content to ride the gentle swells toward home. You feel a connection to that unknown sailor, a shared appreciation for this moment, this light, this perfect end to the day. The stars emerge more quickly tonight, or perhaps you're simply more attuned to their appearance. The first one appears while the western sky is still touched with rose, a single bright point that seems to burn with quiet intensity. Then others follow, filling in the spaces of the sky, creating constellations that humans have watched and named for thousands of years. You try to identify a few: Orion's Belt, the Big Dipper, the North Star, and feel connected to all the navigators and dreamers who have looked up at these same stars from this same shore. The night air is cooler than last night, and you're glad when you descend once more to the warmth of the cabin. The fire you built this morning has burned down, but the embers still glow, and it takes only a few pieces of kindling to bring the flames back to life. You add larger logs, watching them catch, feeling the heat begin to radiate once more. Tonight you decide to cook something warm, and you find what you need in the provisions left for you. You slice vegetables and add them to a pot with broth and herbs, setting it on the stove to simmer. The cabin fills with the savory scent of soup, mingling with the smoke from the fire and the ever-present salt of the sea air. You stir the pot occasionally, watching the vegetables soften, the broth deepen in color, the steam rise and curl toward the ceiling. As the afternoon light begins to deepen toward evening, you climb once again to the lamp room at the top of the lighthouse. The view is different now than it was yesterday evening. The light falls from a different angle. The shadows stretch in different directions. The colors of the sea have shifted from morning silver to afternoon blue to the golden warmth of approaching sunset. You watch the sun begin its descent once more, painting the sky in new colors, different from yesterday, yet equally beautiful. Tonight there are more clouds, and they catch the light in spectacular fashion, their undersides blazing with coral and gold, while their tops fade to purple and gray. The sea reflects the display, becoming a mirror of fire and color, the waves carrying fragments of sunset toward the shore. You eat your soup slowly, sitting by the fire, the bowl warm in your hands. The vegetables are tender and flavorful, the broth rich and comforting. With each spoonful, you feel warmth spreading through your body, nourishing you from within. The fire crackles beside you, the ocean murmurs beyond the walls, and you are content. After dinner, you find yourself drawn to the journal of Lighthouse Keepers you discovered earlier. You settle into the armchair with the book on your lap, angling it toward the firelight to read the faded entries. The keepers wrote of storms that raged for days, of ships saved by the lighthouse beam, of quiet nights like this one when the sea was calm and the stars were bright. They wrote of loneliness sometimes, but more often of peace, of a satisfaction in their simple, important work. One keeper wrote of the rhythm of the lighthouse life, the waking and sleeping that followed the sun, the tending of the lamp, the watching of the sea. He wrote that after enough time, the rhythm became a part of you, as natural as breathing, as constant as the waves. You understand what he meant, you think. Even in just this short time, you've begun to feel that rhythm settling into your bones, slowing your thoughts, deepening your rest. The fire burns lower as you read, and eventually your eyes grow heavy. The journal slips from your fingers, and you don't bother to retrieve it. Instead, you simply sit, watching the embers glow and fade and glow again, listening to the soft song of the sea. Your breathing slows, matching the rhythm of the waves, and you feel yourself beginning to drift. You rouse yourself enough to bank the fire and make your way to bed. The quilts welcome you back, their weight familiar now, comforting. You settle into their embrace, your head finding the perfect spot on the pillow, your body releasing into the softness of the mattress. The window above shows the stars still wheeling in their ancient dance, and the distant lighthouse beam still sweeps across the darkness, patient and faithful. The ocean's voice is your lullaby once more, that constant whisper of waves that has accompanied every moment of your time here. You let it fill your mind, pushing out any lingering thoughts, any worries or plans or memories. There is only this moment, this breath, this sound. The waves roll in and break, a rhythm as old as time and as new as this very second. Your body grows heavier, warmer, more relaxed with each passing moment. Your muscles release any last tension, softening into the bed, becoming one with the comfort that surrounds you. Your thoughts slow, becoming simple, becoming quiet, becoming still. The darkness behind your eyes is soft and welcoming, a gentle space where nothing is required of you, where you can simply rest. Sleep comes like the tide, rising slowly, inevitably, carrying you away from the shore of waking into deeper waters. You don't resist. There's nothing to resist, nothing to hold on to, nothing to fear. You simply let go, trusting the darkness, trusting the rhythm, trusting the ancient wisdom of your body that knows how to rest, how to heal, how to restore itself in the quiet hours of the night. You drift through dreams that are soft and shapeless, impressions rather than stories. There are colors, the blue of the sea, the gold of the sunset, the warm orange of the fire. There are sounds, the whisper of waves, the cry of gulls, the crackle of flames. There are sensations, warmth, softness, the gentle weight of quilts, the perfect support of the pillow beneath your head. Everything is peaceful, everything is safe, everything is exactly as it should be. Hours pass, though you have no awareness of their passing. The stars wheel overhead, the moon rises and sets, the tide ebbs and flows. The Lighthouse Keeper's cabin holds you in its embrace, protecting you from the world outside, giving you the space and time you need to truly rest. The fire burns down to embers, then to ash, but the warmth lingers, held in the stones, released slowly into the room throughout the night. When morning comes, it comes gently, as before. The light creeps into the room on soft feet, touching your face with the warmth of the rising sun. You stir slowly, reluctant to leave the comfort of your dreams, content to linger in that threshold space between sleeping and waking where everything is soft and nothing is urgent. Eventually, you open your eyes and see the new day waiting outside your window. The sky is clear once more, that washed clean blue that seems to exist only in coastal places. The sea sparkles in the morning light, a million tiny suns dancing on its surface. A few white clouds drift lazily across the sky, their shadows moving across the water in slow, peaceful procession. You rise and dress and go through the now familiar rituals of morning, building the fire, heating the water, preparing a simple breakfast. The kettle sings softly as it comes to boil. The bread releases its yeasty fragrance as you slice it. The honey gleams golden in the morning light as you drizzle it over your toast. Each small act is a meditation, a way of being fully present in this moment, this place, this life. After breakfast, you decide to explore in a different direction today. Behind the lighthouse, away from the sea, a narrow path leads into a small wood that climbs the gentle rise of the headland. You follow it, curious to see where it leads, enjoying the change of scenery after 2 days focused on the ocean. The wood is quiet and dappled with light that filters through the canopy of leaves overhead. The trees are old and gnarled, their trunks covered with moss and lichen in shades of green and gray. The path winds between them, soft with fallen leaves and needles that muffle your footsteps. Birds sing in the branches above, small songs, intimate and sweet, very different from the bold cries of the seagulls. As you climb higher, you catch glimpses of the sea through the trees, blue fragments that remind you how close you still are to the water, even as you move away from it. The sound of the waves has faded to a whisper, replaced by the rustle of leaves and the songs of birds, but you can still feel the ocean's presence, still sense its vast expanse stretching to the horizon. The path emerges from the wood onto a grassy hilltop, and here you stop, catching your breath, taking in the view. From this vantage point, you can see for miles in every direction. The lighthouse stands below and to your left, its white tower gleaming in the morning sun. The ocean stretches before you, endless and blue. Behind you, the land rolls away in gentle green hills, dotted with farms and villages, their fields a patchwork of different greens and golds. You sit in the grass, which is soft and slightly damp with morning dew. The sun is warm on your face, and you close your eyes, tilting your head back to feel its full embrace. The breeze carries the scent of grass and wildflowers, with just a hint of salt from the sea below. You feel the earth beneath you, solid and supportive, and the sky above you, vast and open. Time passes, but you don't track it. There's no need. You simply sit, simply breathe, simply exist in this perfect moment on this perfect hilltop. Thoughts come and go like clouds, drifting through your mind without attachment, without judgment. Some are memories, faces of loved ones, places you've been, moments of joy and sorrow and everything in between. Some are imaginings, possibilities for the future, dreams yet to be realized, hopes yet to be fulfilled. But none of them disturb your peace. They are simply thoughts, as natural and passing as the clouds themselves. Eventually, you open your eyes and begin the walk back down to the lighthouse. The path through the wood is different descending than it was climbing. You notice new things, see familiar things from new angles. A mushroom you missed before, growing from a fallen log. A spider web spangled with dew, catching the light like a net of tiny diamonds. The way the light falls through a gap in the canopy, creating a column of gold in the green shadows. You emerge from the wood and see the lighthouse waiting for you, faithful as always. The cabin sits at its base, smoke curling from its chimney. You must have banked the fire better than you realized. The ocean beyond is calm, its surface almost glassy, reflecting the sky like a vast mirror. A few boats are out today, their colorful sails making bright spots against the blue. The rest of the day passes in peaceful rhythms. You read by the fire, you walk along the shore, you climb to the lamp room to watch the play of light on the water. You eat when you're hungry, rest when you're tired, move when you feel like moving, be still when you feel like being still. There's no schedule here, no demands, no expectations. There's only you and the lighthouse and the sea. As evening approaches, you decide to watch the sunset from a different spot. A small rocky cove you notice during your morning explorations. The path down is steeper than the one you've been using, but still manageable, switching back and forth across the face of the cliff. The rocks are warm from the afternoon sun, and you find a comfortable spot where you can sit and lean back against a larger boulder. The sunset tonight is different again. Every sunset is, you're learning. Tonight there are thin streaks of cloud high in the sky, and they catch the light in dramatic fashion, becoming ribbons of fire stretched across the heavens. The colors are more intense than before, deeper reds, brighter golds, richer purples. The sea reflects it all, doubling the display, creating a world of color above and below, with only the thin dark line of the horizon between them. You watch as the sun touches the water and begins to sink below. It seems to flatten as it descends, becoming an oval rather than a circle, its shape distorted by the atmosphere through which you're viewing it. The colors intensify as it drops lower, final flares of brilliance before the darkness comes, and then it's gone, slipped below the edge of the world, leaving only the afterglow to paint the sky. The afterglow lasts longer than you expected, the colors fading slowly through shades of coral and pink and lavender, and finally deep, rich blue. The first stars appear while the western horizon is still touched with light, and you watch the sky transform, the day giving way to night in a gradual, graceful transition. The walk back up to the lighthouse is peaceful in the twilight. The path is easy to follow even in the dim light, and your body knows the way now, having made this journey before. The cabin windows glow warmly as you approach, the fire you left burning casting its light through the old glass. It looks like home, you realize. It feels like home. Inside, you tend the fire, adding logs and stirring the embers until the flames leap up bright and warm. You prepare a simple dinner, eat it slowly by the fire, clean up with the same unhurried attention you've brought to everything these past days. The routine has become comforting, a rhythm that structures your time without constraining it. Tonight, you take the old journal to bed with you, propping yourself up against the pillows to read a few more entries by the soft light of the lamp. The Lighthouse Keeper's words are like friends now, familiar voices speaking across the years. They describe seasons changing, storms passing, ships arriving and departing. They describe the small satisfactions of a life lived in service, the deep peace of nights like this one. One entry catches your attention. It's from a keeper who served here for many years, and he writes about the meaning he found in his work. "The lighthouse doesn't save ships," he wrote. "The lighthouse shows them the way. It is a light in the darkness, a constant point in a changing world, and that is enough. That is everything." You close the journal and turn out the lamp, settling down into the bed with those words still in your mind. The room is dark now except for the faint glow from the fireplace in the other room and the silver light of the stars through the window. The ocean's voice is soft and constant, the rhythm of the waves as familiar now as your own heartbeat. You think about lights in the darkness, about constants in a changing world. You think about the lighthouse standing firm against the storms, sending out its beam night after night, year after year, century after century. You think about all the things in your own life that serve as lighthouses, the people, the places, the practices that guide you through darkness, that remind you of the way home. Your breathing slows, deepens, your body relaxes into the bed, your muscles releasing, your mind quieting. The thoughts continue to drift through your consciousness, but they're softer now, less distinct, more like feelings than thoughts, a sense of gratitude, a sense of peace, a sense of being exactly where you're meant to be, doing exactly what you're meant to do, which in this moment is simply resting, simply being, simply letting go. Sleep rises to meet you like the tide, gentle and irresistible. You let it carry you, trusting its current, surrendering to its embrace. The last thing you're aware of is the sound of the waves, that eternal rhythm that has accompanied every moment of your time here. It follows you into sleep, becomes the soundtrack of your dreams, holds you safely through the long night hours. In your dreams, you're walking along a beach at dawn. The sand is soft beneath your feet, cool and damp from the night's high tide. The sky is the pale pink of early morning, and the sea is smooth as glass, reflecting the colors overhead. You're alone, but not lonely. There's a presence with you, a sense of something greater than yourself, something that watches over you and wishes you well. You walk for miles, though it doesn't feel like far. The beach stretches endlessly ahead and behind, curving gently along the coastline, bordered by dunes and beach grass on one side and the endless sea on the other. Sometimes you stop to examine shells or stones that catch your eye. Sometimes you just walk, your footprints forming a temporary trail that the next tide will erase. The dream shifts, and now you're in the lighthouse, climbing the spiral stairs to the lamp room, but the stairs go on longer than they should, spiraling up and up through layers of cloud and sky. You're not tired, though. Each step is easy, buoyed by some invisible force that carries you upward. Finally, you emerge into the lamp room, and you see that you're above the clouds now, in a realm of pure light and air. The view is impossible and beautiful, clouds stretching in every direction like a soft white sea, the sun hanging in a sky of the deepest blue. You can see the curve of the earth from here, can see the way the world bends away into the distance, and yet you're not afraid. You feel held, supported, safe. You feel at peace. The dream fades and you drift through darker, quieter spaces. There are no images here, no stories, just a sense of deep rest, of profound restoration. Your body is healing, your mind is clearing, your spirit is renewing itself in this sacred space of sleep. You're not aware of this process, but it's happening nonetheless, in the secret chambers of your being where consciousness doesn't reach. The night passes, hour by hour, breath by breath. The stars wheel overhead, completing their ancient circuit. The moon rises and sets, silver light painting the landscape in shades of gray and white. The tide ebbs and flows, the waves continuing their eternal conversation with the shore, and you sleep on, safe in the Lighthouse Keeper's cabin, held by the darkness and the quiet and the rhythm of the sea. Morning comes again, as it always does. The light is different today, softer, filtered through a thin layer of clouds that have moved in during the night. You wake slowly, gradually, feeling the deep rest that has accumulated in your body over these past days. Your muscles feel loose, your mind feels clear, your heart feels light. You lie in bed for a while, not ready to rise, content to simply exist in this threshold moment between sleep and waking. The quilts are warm around you, the pillow soft beneath your head. Through the window, you can see the soft gray sky and the silver sea. It looks like it might rain later, and you find you don't mind. Rain here would be gentle, peaceful, another kind of music to add to the symphony of this place. Eventually, you rise and go through the morning rituals that have become so familiar. The fire, the water, the tea, the simple breakfast. Today there's something bittersweet about these activities because today is your last day here. Tomorrow you'll pack your bag and drive back along those winding coastal roads, returning to your regular life. But for now, you have this day, these final hours in this place of peace. You decide to spend the morning in the lamp room, wanting to take in the view one more time, to imprint it on your memory so you can return here in your mind whenever you need to. The spiral stairs are familiar now, your feet knowing each step, your hand automatically finding the smooth worn places on the railing. The lamp room is quiet and still, the great lens standing sentinel in the center of the space. You move to the windows and look out at the sea, which today is a soft gray blue, matching the sky above. The horizon blends into the haze, sea and sky becoming one, the boundary between them lost in the gentle mist. The rain begins while you're watching, not suddenly, but gradually, a gentle mist that slowly thickens into a soft, steady shower. The drops patter against the windows of the lamp room, running down the glass in small rivers. The sound is soothing, adding another layer to the symphony of this place. The sea below catches the rain, its surface pocked with countless tiny circles that form and disappear in endless patterns. You watch the rain for a long time, mesmerized by its gentle rhythm. There's something deeply restful about being warm and dry inside while the rain falls outside. Something that speaks to ancient instincts of shelter and safety. You feel cocooned here, protected, separate from the weather, yet intimately connected to it. Eventually, the rain slows and then stops, the clouds beginning to break up and drift away. Patches of blue appear overhead, and shafts of sunlight break through, illuminating the sea in scattered pools of silver and gold. A rainbow forms off to the east, its colors soft and perfect, arcing from the clouds down to the water and back up again. You take the rainbow as a gift, a parting blessing from this place. You stand at the window and watch until it fades, the colors gradually growing fainter, the arc slowly dissolving back into the sky from which it came. And then it's gone, leaving only the memory of its beauty, the knowledge that you were here to witness it. The afternoon is spent in quiet activities, a last walk along the shore, a last cup of tea by the fire, a last hour reading in the armchair with the wool blanket across your lap. You move slowly, deliberately, savoring each moment, wanting to remember everything. The way the light falls through the windows, the pattern of the rug beneath your feet, the particular scent of this place that's become so familiar. As evening approaches, you climb to the lamp room one final time to watch the sunset. The sky is clear now, the storm having passed, and the sunset is spectacular, a grand finale to your time here. The colors are vivid and varied, shifting and changing as the sun sinks lower, painting the sky and sea in shades you don't have names for. You watch until the last light fades and the first stars appear. Then you descend the stairs slowly, your hand trailing along the stone walls, saying goodbye to each step, each window, each view. The cabin welcomes you back with its warmth, and you tend the fire one last time, adding logs that will burn through the night. Dinner is simple but satisfying, the last of the bread and cheese, an apple, a cup of tea. You eat slowly, thoughtfully, grateful for this food that has nourished you these past days. When you're finished, you wash the dishes and put them away, leaving the cabin as you found it, ready for the next guest who will come seeking the peace you found here. The evening stretches out before you, unhurried. You sit by the fire and let your mind wander, thinking about all you've experienced here, all you've learned. The rhythm of this place has gotten into your blood, you realize. The sound of the waves, the cycle of the tides, the pattern of light and darkness, they've become part of you, a reference point you'll carry with you wherever you go. You think about what the old Lighthouse Keeper wrote, about being a constant in a changing world. You think about how to carry that constancy with you, how to be your own lighthouse, how to shine your own light in the darkness. It seems important somehow, this question. It seems like something worth thinking about. When your eyes grow heavy, you don't fight it. You let sleep come as it will, naturally, gently. You make your way to the bedroom and slip beneath the quilts for the last time. The bed receives you like an old friend, the mattress and pillows conforming to your body in familiar ways. Through the window, you can see the stars wheeling overhead, the same stars that have watched over this place for millennia. The distant lighthouse beam sweeps across the darkness, faithful as always, constant as the sea. The waves murmur their endless song, that rhythm you've come to know so well, that voice you'll hear in your dreams long after you've left this place. You close your eyes and feel sleep beginning to gather at the edges of your consciousness. Your body is heavy and warm, your mind is quiet and still, your heart is full of gratitude and peace. Whatever comes tomorrow, whatever the future holds, you have this moment, this breath, this perfect rest. The darkness is soft and welcoming, and you sink into it like sinking into warm water. The sound of the waves follows you down, deeper and deeper into the quiet spaces of sleep. You're safe here, held by the darkness, cradled by the rhythm of the sea. There's nothing to fear, nothing to worry about, nothing to do except rest and dream and be renewed. The lighthouse stands watch through the night, as it has for generations, as it will for generations to come. Its light sweeps across the darkness, guiding ships, marking the boundary between sea and shore. And in the small cabin at its base, you sleep the deep, healing sleep of complete rest, complete peace, complete surrender to the night. The waves continue their eternal rhythm, each one unique, yet part of the infinite pattern that stretches back to the beginning of time. They roll in from the vast expanse of the open sea, gathering momentum as they approach the shore, then breaking gently against the rocks in white cascades of foam. This sound that has accompanied every moment of your time here continues now, even as you sleep, weaving itself into your dreams, holding you safely through the long night hours. And the stars continue their ancient journey across the sky, the same stars that have watched over this place for millennia, the same stars that will watch over it for millennia to come. They wheel slowly overhead, constant and eternal, a reminder that you are part of something vast and beautiful and enduring. In the great story of the universe, you are a single breath, a single heartbeat, a single note in an infinite symphony, and that is enough. That is everything. Sleep well, traveler. Rest deeply. Tomorrow will come in its own time, bringing new adventures, new discoveries, new opportunities for growth and joy. But that is tomorrow. Tonight, there is only this moment, this breath, this perfect peace. Tonight, there is only the lighthouse and the sea and the stars. Tonight, there is only rest. The ocean breathes, and you breathe with it. The darkness holds you, and you surrender to its embrace. The night stretches out, long and gentle, full of dreams and silence, and the soft, eternal murmur of the waves. You are home. You are safe. You are at peace. Sleep now, and let the lighthouse keep watch. Sleep now, and let the sea sing you to dreams. Sleep now, and wake renewed, restored, ready to carry this peace with you wherever you go.